Many of you guys might not know that I'm actually half Australian. So my composition of hapa is half Korean, half Australian, and I'm an Australian citizen as well. And I've been wanting to share with you guys about sausage rolls for a little bit because it's just such a classic little like on the go snack, lunchtime item. And we just don't have it here in the US. And I think it's a shame because it's really easy to make. I'm gonna show you guys how to make like a 3-ingredient sausage roll. We're gonna use some store-bought puff pastry, and then I have Italian sausage from when we purchased our hog earlier this year. It's already seasoned up and ready to go. If you didn't have Italian sausage, you could definitely get ground pork and season it yourself, but this just makes it a little bit easier. So I'm gonna make them into like little mini ones so it's easy to share. So this is the cast of characters we're working with. Maybe it's 5 ingredients if you want to count those, 6 if you want to count water. I don't count water. So we have our store-bought puff pastry sheets, an egg for the egg wash, the Italian pork sausage. They're always served with ketchup on the side, so don't knock until you try it. I have some ketchup. And then I'm gonna finish the tops of the rolls with a little bit of Maldon sea salt, but it's super easy to make and I'll show you how we do it. So I've just unrolled the sheet of puff pastry here. You can see that it has already the 2 fold lines there. So those are kind of gonna be our markers for where we cut it. But to start off, I'm just gonna gently stretch it a little bit so it's just a smidge thinner than when it comes out of the package. You don't have to go crazy with this. Just give it a little bit more runway, if you will, for when we're gonna fold up our sausage rolls. Okay, next step is really easy. I'm gonna take the sausage out of the casing, so I'll just cut down the side with the knife, and we're gonna place our sausage kind of in these 3 little strips here. By the way, the oven is preheating to 400, and I'm gonna show you here. So I split our puff pastry down those 3 segments, and then I took the sausage out of the casing and just kind of spread it out along there, so pretty much goes end to end. And then I'm just going to wet my finger and wet just the edge of the puff pastry, and we're just gonna make kind of a little log roll out of them. If you have a little too much puff pastry, you could always trim that, but honestly, I think it's just fine to have a little extra puff. It doesn't hurt anybody. So you just wanna give them a nice roll to where it's all covered. If you need to stretch it a little, you can do that. And then on the other end as well, I'm gonna wet the edge so that it can seal up nicely. So here are the little sausage rolls that we have. There's a little bit of excess pastry on the end, so we can easily trim that off. So I'm just gonna go through and put an egg wash over top, and then we're gonna trim them and score them. So the egg wash is just, 1 egg beaten with about a tablespoon or 2 of water. And that's just gonna help us get a really, really nice brown finish on the pastry. Look at that lovely color. So you can make these whatever size you like. I think about 2 to 3 inch pieces are great. So you can just grab 1 or 2, have a bit of a taste. Okay. Here are our little sausage rolls. I like to just go through with a paring knife and give a couple little slits to the top. They don't have to be deep, but it's kind of decorative. And then I like to just do a little sprinkle of Maldon salt over top, or sea salt, and then into the oven, 400 for around 20 minutes. It kind of depends on how thick you made these, because you got to make sure that the meat cooks through. So 20, 22 minutes, something like that. And I'll show you when they're done. Here are sausage roll bites out of the oven. They smell so good. They're still sizzling in there. And I just checked internal temp. They're completely cooked. I went 23 minutes to get a nice golden brown on the top. Then I'm gonna let these cool for a minute before I plate them, and make sure you serve them with a little side of ketchup. This has been a very fun day in the kitchen for me because these sausage rolls bring back a lot of memories. So they came out so perfectly crispy. The meat is delicious and tender, and you just get that little sharp acidity from the ketchup. It's really good.